Let's talk about how to speak with business owners to sell your marketing services. So you started a business. One of the hardest things to do, I'll roll my sleeves up for this one, I don't care. One of the hardest things to do when you're starting a business is not finding the idea. Because anyone could say, oh, I'm gonna start a lead generation company. I'm gonna design mobile apps. You know, like I have two business ideas right there, right? But what's actually stopping us is finding customers, speaking to people that want the mobile apps or want the lead generation and trying to pitch them, etc., going through the whole process and making money. That's why I say it over and over again on this channel. The only thing that really matters is the ability for you to go out there and find money in the world. Because if you can find somebody that will pay you, then you can always go find somebody to do the work. And it's not always the same the other way. If you can do the work, it's not 100% that you'll be able to find somebody to pay you. It's always better to go and focus on the money first. So how do you do that? How do you actually speak to business owners to sell your marketing services? Let me tell you. And by the way, before you're like, who is this goofball telling me about marketing, huh? This kid's done nothing. Look at him. He's got a fake plant behind him.
Yeah, the plant's fake. I'm not gonna water that plant.
I built a 7-figure marketing agency called X27, and we do lead generation and marketing services. We also have a 6-figure course all about sales training called Email 10K, which actually teaches agency owners and has taught hundreds of agency owners how to scale and how to grow and how to target high-ticket clients in the B2B space. So actually check out Email 10K if you want, but otherwise, yeah, I've done this for a bit, and I just want to share with you what I've learned here. So here is how to actually speak to clients for your marketing business. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Learn how to book meetings with billion-dollar brands and take your company to the next level at email10k.com. The first thing you want to do is understand their exact problems. And that comes down to understanding the actual businesses that you're selling to. I just went to dinner with somebody who runs a business that targets chiropractors. And he's a great marketer. He could tell me in detail, like, we're going after chiropractors in this country, in the United States, and they're all focused on this specific thing, and here are their exact issues. Like, they're going out, and when they try to make videos, they try to deliver all this value when people really just want to know that they can, you know, crack their neck or whatever chiropractors do. And he knew every single thing. And I do the same thing with our clients. I know, especially if I'm talking to agency owners, I know that they're either getting, if they're getting any leads, they're low quality leads, or they're getting a bunch of sales, but they're from referrals. So they're worried that they have no other client acquisition process besides just referrals coming in, which they have no control over, etc. Like, I understand the needs of the customers that I'm going after. So if you're going to go out there and sell marketing, one, this is why I recommend not selling to everyone, because it's almost impossible to understand every business. But two, this is also why it's worth talking to clients or getting more specific from the start. Because if you're selling to chiropractors, all of a sudden you can study what chiropractors want and become the expert. And becoming the expert at chiropractor marketing might be worth $200 million, right? It's not like you're gonna be limited to a $200,000 a year business by being the best at marketing to chiropractors. Same with us and marketing to digital agencies. We built a 7-figure business just on digital agencies, of which there are maybe 3,400, right? It's not like there are a crazy amount of digital agencies to sell to. So understand their needs and problems and decide who you're talking to. I get more specific on this, by the way, in our course Email 10K, so check that out if you haven't already. So once you've fully understood, once you've studied, ideally you've talked to a few of these customers you want to sell to. Maybe you've even had a job for 6 months working with one of these customers, right? If I was trying to be the marketer for chiropractors, I'd go out there and I'd talk to a couple chiropractors. I might even become like the receptionist or the assistant to a chiropractor for 3 to 6 months, because that's what I did at the agency world. When I wanted to start an agency, I got a job at an agency in New York City. And I told this story before. Eventually I went from junior sales guy to director of marketing there. But it took about 2.5 years. I got all the experience I needed. And then I was able to fully and confidently go out there and help other agencies. So you can get that experience quickly. I got it in 2.5 years. I think you only need like 3 to 6 months until it clicks. Just work there until it clicks. And then when you understand them, you're good to go. So you understand your customers' needs and their problems. Then when you talk to them, you want to go in with the knowledge that you can solve their problems. And you do that through case studies. So if you're talking to a chiropractor and that's your niche, then you're talking about other chiropractors that you've helped. Or if you're talking to agencies and that's your niche, then you're talking to other agencies. And if you're about to comment, it's niche, not niche, just leave, just get out of here. We don't need you here, all right? We don't serve your kind here. Be detailed and go through exactly how you can help them. We've went through the discovery call process a few times on this channel, the exact questions to ask. Go in like a doctor diagnosing a problem. What are the common things that you've found in agencies that need your marketing help or companies that need your marketing help? And what are questions that you can ask to get them to express those problems? One question that I really love for marketing agencies as I'm selling as a marketing agency, I'll say something like, where are you getting leads right now? Right? Because they need marketing help, so obviously they're not getting enough leads and enough clients. But if they can identify something that's working, then that's also a very good place to start. You can also check out one of these other videos. We talk about it. It's called How to Use a Case Study to Pitch a Different Niche. Check that out after this one if you want. The third thing you want to do is show the pricing of the service as an investment. So you're a marketing company and you shouldn't be promising results because as you know, legally everyone says results not typical because there's a bunch of stuff that can go wrong. But you can say something if you're selling marketing services, like we're estimating that these services will generate you an additional $3 million in leads this year. Does that seem like it's worth $100,000 to you? And if yes, then yes. And we've closed clients on the first call by saying things like this, right? Like this is not hard. You go out there and you say, hey, if we rebuild your website, you're gonna get double the number of leads. Right now a lead is worth $1,000 to you and you get 100 leads a month. So you make $100,000 a month. If we double the number of leads, you're gonna make $200,000 a month. Is that worth $7,000 a month to you? If yes, yes. If no, get off the phone, right? Like, let me talk to somebody who actually will find value in what I'm offering. So you're showing the pricing and you're framing it in a way that gets them to buy, kind of framing it like an investment, but also you don't wanna promise results because, again, results are not typical. So like, you're not gonna knock it out of the park with every client. So you don't wanna be framing it like, you're definitely gonna make $100,000 if you pay me $2,000. Instead, you wanna frame it like, I estimate you're gonna make about $100,000 by putting this $2,000 in, right? It's estimated, it's forward-looking, it's not a promise of results. The fourth thing you wanna do is use other projects you've worked on as case studies. Some marketing companies try to hide these results instead of framing the results in the right way. So for instance, if you're trying to sell to digital agencies and grow them, and you've worked with an agency that's exactly like the one you're talking to, if you do not bring up that agency and talk about the results you've generated for them, you're doing it all wrong. The same for chiropractors, the same for any niche. You bring up who you've worked with in the past, the results you've got, and why you think that you can get better results or the same results for the customer you're talking to right now. You wanna get a couple things across. You wanna get across, one, you like each other, right? I respect you, you like me, hopefully. I respect you, definitely. You know, love bomb them a little bit. Then two, I am very qualified. I've done this before a ton of times, or at least one time before, and I wanna do this with you as well. And then three, call to action. You wanna do this together or not? And if you can get those three things across, then your sales calls are gonna be very successful. Using case studies also helps you to charge a higher rate. And actually it gets you to the point where if you charge a lower rate, you get laughed out of the room. So for instance, you come in and you talk about how you've generated a massive amount of leads by rebuilding the Sony homepage, right? Massive enterprise company, Sony. And then they're like, all right, I'm sold. How much is it to build my homepage? That sounds great. And you say something like, oh, it's only $350. They're gonna hang up on you. Because if you framed it the right way with your case studies, you'll have to charge $35,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 in order to not get laughed out of the room. If you're framing your agency the right way, it's impossible for you to charge low prices. And keep in mind that it's not like the companies want low prices anyway. If I am running a business and my website is that important to me, like it's my website, it's my forward-facing thing that's going on the internet, everyone's seeing that. I do not want to spend $200 on a website. I would rather spend $6,000, $7,000, maybe $50,000, $60,000 on a website if that is coming from somebody that's qualified and it's going to generate more leads. In fact, I would never spend $200 on a website because it's going to be a bunch of I know it, just based on the price. So just be careful with your pricing. You can easily price too low and kill deals the exact same way. Another big thing is while you're on these calls, have your questions ready. We have this whole free discovery script, which you can get below. It's all the questions we ask, but I can give you a few right now. Tell me about your company. How are you addressing these problems right now? What will happen if you don't address this problem right now? What's your timeline for getting started? So these kind of questions are going to give you information on their pain points, how badly they need you, the budget, the decision-making process, like everything there. And again, if you want all the questions literally for free, check out the download below. We've got all our discovery questions in there. And you want to talk like an expert, not a salesperson. So if you go in there and you're trying to do like the Neil Rackham spin selling thing, and you're like going in there and you're like pitching and trying to close them and put pressure and all this stuff, a lot of the time that's gonna turn people off completely, especially if you're doing it wrong. I'm not saying spin selling doesn't work. Spin selling actually does work if you do it right. But I'm saying if you're stumbling through, if you're not that good of a salesman, like I started out not that good of a salesman. And the way that I learned to sell is by being the expert, giving the TED Talk. Instead of being the cool sales guy talking about sports and all that, I became the guy who knows so much more about this than the client knows, and that's why they want to, tie their horses to our wagon. So talk like the expert and be the expert. When I went in to sell mobile apps, I remember the first couple weeks, I sat there just totally in a blank haze because we had all these startup founders and enterprise businesses coming in. People like Tyson Chicken and stuff were coming in and they had like all these big ideas. And I was just sitting there like, what is an app, right? What is an app? What is an API? And how are they different? That was me. That was me back then. And so I actually went through some coding classes. I learned JavaScript at a very, very basic level. I studied Wikipedia. Like now I know what the difference between an API and an app is. So anyway, you have to learn all this stuff in order to become an expert and be willing to put that work in. And you can learn most stuff pretty quickly. Like I learned how to talk like a developer in about a week or two of hardcore studying, but most people don't put that work in. I could do the same thing right now. I'm pretty confident I could do the same thing for airline parts or marketing services. I did it for lead generation, and you can do it for anything. So go out there, speak to business owners, and close more deals for your marketing agency. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. So you don't have a business idea, huh? Do you want to know what the best business to start is, regardless of market conditions? Check out the free presentation at email10k.com. We have over 200 students that are crushing it using this business strategy, even during this time. So check that out, email10k.com. Thanks for watching the video. Smash that like button to encourage this type of content. Just go ahead, give it a little tippy tap. Subscribe for more content like this. And we do content 3 times a week, so you can get all these free videos here. You can check out all our past content as well. Check out Email 10K if you want the step-by-step stuff, right? Like this is our free content. Imagine what our paid content is. It's way, way better than this. So check that out, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.